Since we got people that love to quote a singular verse and only part of that verse, here's some for you. Let's read some stuff. You are the sons of the Lord your God. You shall not cut yourselves nor shave your forehead for the sake of the dead. For you are a holy people to the Lord your God, and the Lord has chosen you to be a people for his own possession out of all the peoples who are on the face of the earth. You shall not eat any detestable thing. These are the animals which you may eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the deer, the gazelle, the roebuck, the wild goat, the ibex, the antelope, and the mountain sheep. And any animal that divides the hoof and has the hoof split in two and chews the cud among the animals that you may eat. Nevertheless, you are not to eat of these among those which chew the cud, or among those that divide the hoof in two: the camel. How'd you like to have camel for supper? The rabbit. People in the U.S. have eaten rabbit. Christians have eaten rabbit. That's a no-no. And the rock badger. That's gross. How'd you like to eat badger for supper? For though they chew the cud, they do not divide the hoof. They are unclean for you. And the pig, because it divides the hoof, but does not chew the cud, it is unclean for you. You shall not eat any of their flesh, nor touch their carcasses. Man, we got pig and everything out there. Bacon, ham, pork chops. These you may eat of all that are in the water. Anything that has fins and scales you may eat. But anything that does not have fins and scales you shall not eat. It is unclean for you. You may eat any clean bird, but these are the ones which you shall not eat. Listen to this. The eagle and the vulture and the buzzard. We have buzzards here. They're ugly. And the red kite, the falcon, and the kite in their kinds, and every raven in its kind, and the ostrich, the owl, the seagull. Seagulls are gross. And the hawk in their kinds, the little owl, the great owl, the white owl, the pelican. Who eats pelican? Do not eat pelicans, people. Why would you eat that? The carrion vulture, the cormorant, the stork. Yeah, I'll have a side of stork, please. And the heron in their kinds, and the hoopoe and the bat. Would you like some bat pudding? Sure. Can I get two? One for me and one for her? And all the teeming life with wings are unclean to you. They shall not be eaten. You may not eat any, or you may eat any clean bird. You shall not eat anything which dies of itself. You may give it to the alien who is in your town, so that he may eat it, or you may sell it to a foreigner, for you are a holy people to the Lord your God. You shall not boil a kid in its mother's milk. That kid is talking about a goat. You shall surely tithe all the produce from what you sow, which comes out of the field every year. You start reading the law in the Bible, and it just blows me away. There's no way you can keep track of everything. No way. At the end of every 7 years, you shall grant a remission of debts. Oh, wouldn't that be nice to get a home loan from somebody and borrow them, and in 7 years, you got to let it go? How many people would do that? And this is the manner of remission. Every creditor shall release what he has loaned to his neighbor. He shall not expect it of his neighbor and his brother, because the Lord's remission has been proclaimed. From a foreigner you may exact it, but your hand shall release whatever of yours is with your brother. However, there shall be no poor among you, since the Lord will surely bless you in the land which the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance to possess. You start reading in the law, and there's a lot of stuff here. People like to quote Deuteronomy 22. I did a perusal of YouTube this morning. I'm not here to pick on somebody or anybody, but I just want to show you screenshots of channels. Nobody quotes this part of the verse to me. They only quote the latter part. Deuteronomy 22:5, a woman should not wear man's clothing. They never quote that to me. They go mid-sentence. Nor shall a man put on a woman's clothing, for whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord your God. We have Christians and we have people that are not Christians that like to cherry pick Bible verses. Paul says we're not under law, we're under grace. That doesn't mean you can run around and sin and live like the devil. But if you want to get into the law, then you better not have bacon, better not have ham or pork chops. And if you're eating a pelican, you really are a bad person. I don't know anybody who eats pelican, but I just thought I'd throw that out there for fun. What about preachers that are worth $50 million telling you to trust in God and not rely on money? Well, honey, let me take that $50 million away from you and then come back Sunday morning and preach about trusting in God. We don't talk about that, do we? Why? How come in America we don't talk about the sin of gluttony anymore? That's all through the Bible, being a piglet. Look around. I'm in the South. Look around. Look around. Be a part. Take time to make time. Notice the buffet and all that fried food. It's deep in the South. We have plus size BBW. I'm gonna run. This place is glutton central. The South is Pigville. If you see slender women here, they're probably on drugs. They're probably on meth. They probably like cancer sticks and pot. This is the South. Now, I'm not saying there ain't no pretty, healthy women here, but it's generally not known for that. It's pretty sad that when I, as a guy, can wear a feminine top and I'm better looking than most of the Southern gals down here. Why is that? And how many of these people go to church? It's the Bible Belt. The Bible Big Belt. Oompa, loompa, oompity doo. Nobody talks about gluttony. Now, I've been blessed, to be fair, to play devil's advocate on myself. I've been blessed with a high metabolism, but I'm also very energetic. I'm more like a hummingbird. I eat a lot, but the energy is burning it off. I've read about survival stories that the Essex was the inspiration for Moby Dick. And I have it in here somewhere. Where did I put it? You might want to read this book. It's fascinating. If I can find it. Got so many books in here, I can't see the books through the forest. Somewhere. I've got it somewhere. I don't know where it is. The story of the Essex is a true story about a whaling ship. And the guys resorted to cannibalism when their ship got sunk by a sperm whale that got tired of getting harpooned. They actually caught a whale many years ago that had a harpoon embedded in it from way back. Amazing. The guys that died the quickest were the thin guys built like me. We don't have enough body fat to survive. So if I was ever in a starvation situation, I wouldn't last long. My metabolism's so high, I would probably collapse because of a complete breakdown in energy. So there is a detriment to having high metabolism. As long as I got a food source, I'm good. But how come we don't talk about gluttony? But let's talk about just what is going on in life. Let's do that. I gotta zero in. You'll see me looking at the screen because I'm trying to pick. This is something that you got silly Christians producing boatloads of videos about this. It's disgusting. Semen retention. Ridiculous. This is the world that we live in. Got these buzzwords and phrases that you need to retent your semen, meaning don't masturbate. Then you got women talking about it. You got guys talking about it. And you read the comments. I did it for 1 week. I didn't touch myself. And the guilt. And the people taking this don't touch yourself thing. And then they fall, and then the guilt is even worse. Sexual immorality, and people don't want to admit this, is ingrained in most of us. When Jesus Christ said, if you even look at a woman to lust, folks, you got men looking at men, you got women looking at women. Let's unpack something. People want to get into literal. Let's do this. Gotta find it. You have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you that everyone who looks on a woman to lust for has committed adultery with her already in his heart. Notice the pronouns are he, his. So that means a woman can slobber all over anybody and she's not guilty. If you want to take literal, yeah, it seems to imply that only men lust. Is that true? Is that what that verse is saying? You have to look at who Jesus was talking to. He was not speaking to women at that point. He was looking at the religious leaders dead on in the eye. The Pharisees, they added laws upon laws. They multiplied the laws of God like rabbits breeding. Let's get an understanding of this. You cannot pick heads of unwashed grain with unwashed hands. I mean, rules like that. Thou shalt not cook anything that takes more than 5 minutes to cook. Thou will not chop. Thou will not do this. Jesus tried to heal somebody, and they criticized him for doing it on the Sabbath. Jesus said, which one of you, if your ox or donkey falls into a pit, will not pull him out on the Sabbath? So it is always good to do good on the Sabbath. I'm sorry, your car crashed. So I'm not going to take any effort to pull you out of your vehicle. When Jesus gave the Sermon on the Mount, it was not a list of stuff that we need to do to obtain favor with God. When Jesus gave the Sermon on the Mount, it was not a list of things that we need to check off so that we can have eternal life. The Sermon on the Mount was given to show the deeper intent of the law and that every one of us is guilty. I don't know a man out there who hasn't lusted. And a lot of women do too. And a lot of women masturbate too. And we spend hours and seminars and church. Stop it. Don't lust. Don't look at porn. Do not touch yourself. How's it working? What's it producing? What I have found is some of the yuckiest people in a church are women that have no sex drive or are pent up sexually, and they're very angry and very judgmental about anybody who would dare to lust. They condemn men. They're not the kind of people that inspired me to get closer to God. It doesn't work. Some women have no libido. That's not fair. Imagine if I had no testosterone and I had no sex drive and I'm running around telling somebody, that's wrong, that's wrong. Well, I don't have a sex drive, so I'm not tempted by it, so it would be easy. See, I'm very hard on drugs. I have no tolerance for people pushing drugs, and I think drug dealers ought to be given the death penalty, just like in the Philippines. I have no respect for drug dealers. They're wretched fecal matter. They ruin children and families, and they are a detriment to society. And that goes for all this marijuana and all this stuff and opening cannabis stores. No Christian should own a cannabis THC pot store. That is not who and what we should represent. Oh boy, I'm going to get it now. Look at the way you're dressed. This is on me. I'm not handing you a drug. But I'm guilty of being harder on things that are not a temptation for me than the ones that are. Check yourself, men and women. You're guilty of the same thing I am. You're harder on those things that you don't struggle with, while you're soft on the things you do. Basic Christian Psychology 101. We get on our high horsey about things that we don't have a desire for. We have to be careful. There are people on my channel that have confessed to alcoholism, drug use, cigarettes, and they're trying to take baby steps to get out of it. Never on my channel do I want to discourage them or drive them away. I want people to come on my channel, be able to hear the truth, and let the truth of God, let the truth, not you, let the truth of God work on them. Too many Christians want to be car salesmen, bossy butts, and get up in your face. Tell the truth. Let God deal with people. I don't want anybody coming, saying, I'm not going to listen to this guy. I feel so guilty every time. I don't want you to feel guilt. I want you to feel hope when you come to my channel that you can possibly get to a better place. This semen retention crap, it comes to my feed constantly. I'm sick of it. We've already committed adultery how many times, and we're going to suddenly stop, and that means we're perfectly righteous? You've sinned. You've broken the law. You missed the mark. Forget trying to aim for 100. You're done. Washed up. Beached whale. Now, how do we make tracks? How do you stop looking at adult material? I'm alone. That is a problem. I have a sex drive, which is extremely voracious. That is a problem. My testosterone is through the roof. It actually is. I know a guy at work. He said he has low testosterone. He said my sex drive's not high at all. But it's weird. She acts like a moody woman. Pissy. He has a girlfriend. She's big. My supervisor said she came in one day and she lifted her arms and there were 2 ferrets under there. That's gross. But to each his own. Some people, I remember when I was in a Yahoo chat room years ago, the ID you could see when somebody came in the room. I love women with hairy armpits. I got on the voice chat and I said, wow, Somebody just came in the room with an idea. I love women with hairy armpits, and it showed the person leaving. Apparently, I embarrassed them. I don't like hairy armpits. I don't like hairy women except on the head. But that's me. Some people think hairy armpits is sexy. I don't. Holds in body odor and funkasaurus and everything else even more. I like a woman that's clean and smooth. That turns me on. Doesn't matter what turns me on. We're living in a broken world today. Broken. Allow me to take a perusal of just screenshots of the YouTube lives this morning. Okay? Everybody knows him. I don't know if it's Minecraft. He's playing Minecraft live. He got rid of the toilet seat. This woman here is chanting and ranting and talking nonsense. Just nonsense. These two. Fake dyed blonde hair, lots of makeup, lots of cleavage on the one on the, would be the right on my screen. Not really sure what they were talking about. People were making anti-Trump comments, whatever. This one I see a lot out there. Very slender. She wears the same style of shirt every day, shows her midriff often. Not sure what she talks about, but there's a flock of men there hoping to get some. I've seen some of the comments. This one was vaping. Again, hair color doesn't match the eyebrows. A lot of women are not color coordinated, I notice. This one is fast asleep on her channel. I don't know who that is. There's a few out there like that. I don't understand why people do that. To me, that's vulnerable. In a bad way. Why are people watching someone sleep is weird? Bad grammar. What's weird to you ain't weird to everyone else. This is boring and it's stupid. MGTOW versus simp. Look at the random have nothing to do with anything comments. Let's move on. What's this? A woman sleeping in her vehicle. You can hear her snoring. She stopped breathing. Two shoes a mod. Oh, wow. What does clavicles versus sheep mean? Mental trash. Here's a Filipina who, I don't know what she did to her hair, but that is not natural Asian hair. I guess she's trying to be black. God help us. Western culture has permeated the Philippines. This one's got children fussing and crying within feet of her. I see a lot of that. Mom's getting on here, ignoring the kids. And the kids are crying and whining and fussing and there's a whole family asleep. in another country because they're all on the floor in a very crude cement block building. This woman, every other word was the F word. You could tell she had that arrogance. I don't even know what she was talking about, but it was F, 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 F. I'm like, I'm not going to listen to this. This one was talking about getting drunk, talking about whiskey, switching to wine. Not my cup of tea, not even remotely. This one showed women in China bottling up liquor for shipment. Look at that. People going crazy with the emoticons. Isn't this a pretty woman? Isn't she beautiful? Lights up on the screen, blowing smoke everywhere. Had no bra. First, I thought maybe she was a cross-dresser. Kind of hard to tell. My workplace, the men and women who smoke walk around with a cigarette in their mouth. Lit outside, unlit inside. They got them little white filter extension. That's the other guy said, why do you always got a cigarette in your mouth? I said, you that addicted? You got to have it in your mouth even when it's unlit? Well, it's better than chewing on pencils. Okay. And I walked on. Isn't that awesome? Make love with that after days, huh? I go days without showering. She was on Anton Daniels' channel. He's got some good content, by the way. Sorry, I just look at that. I see that and I go, pew. Pew. I'm not being a troll. I'm saying this because I get so much crap on my channel. I work hard and I'm clean. I take care of myself. And this is what I'm showing you on YouTube. People feel the need to be on YouTube whether they got talent or not, or got anything or not. The obsession with wanting to be seen and heard, whether you got anything or not, is real. Then you got all the Gen Zers on there with nothing but crap, caca, 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 caca. Gen Z is the stern section of the Titanic, societally speaking. Unrecognizable, bent and twisted steel. She's done. That's why I don't believe that our universe has longer. I just don't. Gen Z is violent. They have no moral compass. They don't have a work ethic. They don't know how to shut their mouth and be respectful. Our country's in trouble just on that fact alone. So keep shouting MAGA all day long. Keep shouting it. I'm 60. 10 years, I'll be 70. What's going to happen in just 10 years? In the 60s, things were starting to really accelerate. But in the 60s, they had a computer the size of a room that couldn't even do what a calculator does. Now you got a phone that can do way more than anybody could have thought of back in that time. When I was a kid and I'd walk home from school and cut through alleys, there'd be batch cards with the punched holes in them. I thought batch cards were cool because it was a computer card. And I'd collect them. I'd put them in the back of one of my Tonka pickup trucks. I remember Xerox, purple ink that had a smell. All the kids loved the smell of dittos that the teachers would run off copies and we had to fill in the blanks. That purple ink had a interesting smell. The calculator came out when I was, just before middle school. Merlin, the little handheld thing that looked like a phone. Wow, you could play tic-tac-toe and make a 7-digit song. Beep, beep, boop. We thought that was cool. We thought Atari was cool with the single joystick and the button on top. Now we're going to Minecraft. Minecraft seems more primitive than Atari. Why? And society's getting bored, and yet they're becoming more angry. Road rage is on the massive upswing. What's happened to men and women in America? We live by emotion. Women have been doing it for a long time. Now men are becoming more like women. People freak out about this top I have on, but I have to discipline myself every day to not let my emotions rule me. As a man, I grew up with a female dominant family. And when I'm out there and I see dumb stuff on the road, I have to always tell myself, don't. Our society is volatile emotionally. And it's not just that. It's men. Men are emotionally charged idiots today. And why? Because a lot of men were raised by women and don't have the balanced hand of the male. So a lot of men are running around emotionally driven. We see this with an entire ethnic community. 75% of this community is run by women, left holding the bag. And then we wonder why they just shoot and beat up and shoot and beat up and kill. Because they didn't have the balance of a man. They didn't grow up with Kenny Rogers. You got to know when to walk away. You got to know when to run. Is it worth killing somebody over? Or are you going to just say, dude, I'm tired of, I ain't going to deal with you, and walk? That culture doesn't know how to do that. And things are becoming clear as I get older. I'm not a psychologist, but life will teach it to you if you pay attention. Some of the largest problems in the African American community is because the bulk share of grown black men were raised by women that were emotional basket cases. They're drinking, they're on drugs, they're opening their legs, and every time they get mad, they just yell and cuss and blow. That's not good parenting. And when you become an adult, they're males, but they're not men. And they think they're men by intimidating and threatening, when in fact, they're walking dysfunctional carcasses and don't see it. And that's why society backs away. Don't make them mad. Don't look at them. The reason that we're seeing so much crazy stuff and behavior is so many of these boys were raised by women that didn't have the tools, and the men aren't there. And I'm going to tell you, the older I get, God's word is proven every day that God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, and he didn't create the woman to be the father and the mother. And I'm here to tell you, when we get away from this, in my personal life, as a society, everything is whacked and jacked and broken. I was thinking about trolls. The trolling that goes on the internet proves to me they did not grow up in well-adjusted homes. That's a given. People that are trolling and stalking and hating and laughing, and people were telling me about Alaskan bush people. I forget the guy's name. He killed himself. The trolls were deriding him. Somebody talking about Alaskan bush people, not even controversial stuff like me. And the hatred. And then the trolls, after he's dead and gone, are still sneering and laughing about it. It's too bad they couldn't round up all these trolls hiding in their mother's basement and send them on a ship and put them all on the same island with nothing and say, figure it out, boys. This one got all her cleavage showing. Lights up a cigarette. Just seeing that makes me go, nah. You ever been around women with a smoker's voice? They sound like men. You ever hear men getting on their channel saying, why you sound like a man? Why you talk like a man? This is the sound of silence. Men don't realize this. But in American society, we have been bamboozled and deceived. And I can show it to you right now. They don't say anything about women becoming or acting or dressing or talking or sounding like or involved in things that men do. You know, the Super Bowl is as old as me. Go back to the 60s. Football stadiums were full of men. That was what men did. Now they're full of women too, with sports jerseys and baseball hats and yelling like a man and smelling like a man. And men liked that. They wanted to machificate women. Oh, I like it when she wears blue jeans. Of course you do, because you're gay. Blue jeans were made for working men. Did you know that? Go back in society. You talk about me wearing this shirt. I don't lack testosterone. I'm not a tranny. I'm not an automatic. I'm a stick shift. Got to push in the clutch to deal with me. Mm. 5-second rule. Those are the tiniest chocolate bars in the world. Deformity from work. Smashed it on a press. It hurt. Arizona, Georgia, down here on my toe, Georgia. Arizona left a mark, Georgia left 3, and COVID damaged me in Georgia. Minnesota had harsh winters, but I survived. Didn't land in poison ivy and sumac and have fire ants. You got people hating this. Let me say something to all the trolls out there. Those that like to quote scripture but are not Christians, are not saved, don't live a shred of biblical Christianity ever. You have heard that the ancients were told, you shall not commit murder, and whoever commits murder shall be liable to the court. But I say to you that everyone who is angry with his brother shall be guilty before the court, and whoever shall say to his brother, Raca, shall be guilty before the Supreme Court. And whoever shall say, you fool, shall be guilty enough to go to the hell of fire. What's that all that saying? People hate. People hated Charlie Kirk. Clown Boy runs a YouTube channel. Hates anybody that disagrees with trans crap. That's murder. Condone the death of Charlie Kirk. That's murder. Scary, isn't it? A woman came on my channel. I don't know what happened to her. I haven't seen her and I don't look for her. Criticizing my clothing, criticizing this. I went to her channel and I said, oh, that's not the way to grow your channel. And she came back with a smart aleck. You know, a lot of women are very good at snapping back. So I did a video on her showing her face. Found her weak spot real quick. That really set her off. How dare somebody talk about me? I talked about her dress barn clothing, her simp men following, and she raged like a hurricane for days on the internet against me. Just because I critiqued her. I did it intelligently. Had her picture. All she had on was a dress barn sundress, cleavage showing, thought she was all that on a stick, thought she could walk through the internet and smart off to everybody because I'm a woman. And Michael came back and, ooh, did she get pissed. I have no idea what she's doing, whatever. And all her guys came in using my picture for their profile, making rude comments. One of them attacked one of the women on my channel. One of the grown men. So Michael got his finger on the pulse. I don't care what they think of me. I've been bullied all my life. What else is new? It goes on the internet. Little ass hats and butt worms. That's all they are, butt worms. You know, we had to do a commercial. You have itchy butt? Maybe because you got butt worms. They're all over the internet. They're fecal feeders. They're not producing anything. But what's sad is now you have content creators that attract a rabid following. Look at what's happening in our society. Teenagers taking over intersections, bridges, getting on the interstate with four-wheelers and motorcycles. That's illegal as all get out. Not regular registered motorcycles. I'm talking dirt bikes and stuff like that. And what's funny is when the authorities get them, they're impounding and sending all these to the crusher. They should. Our country needs to start taking away driver's licenses, taking their automobiles, and yanking these people out of their vehicles the way they drive. I'm amazed. Doesn't matter where I go in this country. Speed limit's 45. They're going 80. And then they got all their gay little stickers on the back showing what they believe in. I put myself out here. I'm honest. I'm authentic. I'm real. The trolls don't like it because they're none of the above. attacking a guy talking about Alaskan bush people proves that the internet, that Google, amassing billions of dollars of money a day, maybe now I'm putting it high, but it's outrageous, is doing nothing to stop it. Say something about the left, oh, they're going to shut you down. And a guy was driven to shoot himself by the river. And these trolls get off on that. Why can't we line them up by the river and shoot them all and drop them in the river? Why can't we? People that stalk and harass people like that, this 11-year should face the death penalty. Psychological warfare designed to cause somebody to commit suicide, that should be dealt with pretty harsh. It's crazy. You don't have to agree with me on everything, but the hatred, the trolling, the nastiness, making ID, that's a mental disorder. But they're like a gang, breeding like rabbits, unreined, unchecked. Just like the CB radio in the 80s. The dominant clowns were going to dominate it and force the good people off. It's like when you went to the arcade as a kid, play video games, you had all the punks in there scaring kids right back out of there. They made skate parks. You had the punks bringing broken bottles and cutting other kids, and adults don't change. They do the same damn thing. Some fecal matter neighbor down the street bought a Scat Pack charger. Nobody in the neighborhood is impressed with this punk. He was tearing around Saturday, making as much noise as possible. I wish I was a geek. I wish I was a techie. I wish I could make something that sent a signal to that car and the car went and don't run no more ever. I'd use it regularly. When we live in a country where there's no protection and we have no rights, and the laws protect buttholes. Raise your hands if you see that. And YouTube and social media. It's good, but it's also allowing everybody to come out. And as we get closer to the end, the world's going to be dominated by heartless, careless, soulless creatures celebrating wickedness. Every one of these channels I just showcased are nothing but lost souls. Every single one of them. I'm not attracted to that. Not my cup of tea. Bragging about wine, bragging about whiskey. Think she had a bit of a British or an Aussie accent, wasn't sure. This one used the F word more than most men I know. And guys like that. Guys are attracted to foul-mouthed women. I don't know why, but they are. I'm guilty. I like a woman to talk a little dirty to me in the bed, but not out there on the street. For me, I want a woman to be a lady out there, and she could be a WHORE with me in the sheets. Women think they're tough now. They're beating up people. They become violent. You want to date that? I'll tell you a story about a man I knew. His name was Ivan. He lived in Brattleboro, Vermont. One of the first guys I met on my channel. He was married to a woman who gained a lot of weight. She was not a believer. He is. Then they have disagreements and she'd shove him and push him around. And he told me about it. I said, why are you letting her do that? This went on for years. Ivan was a nice guy, but he wasn't the macho male. They got in a disagreement and she went to shove him and he pushed her back. Not hard. She bumped the wall and scratched her arm. Called the police on him. He's arrested. Had to go through the court. He called me. I said, man, divorce that woman and get away from her. I said, you should have called the first time she knocked you around. I will. Woman ever assaults me, she's going to lose her freedom. I've had women threaten me at work. When I was at transportation, I told a black woman, and she threatened me for no reason. She was just being the nasty, ugly self that she is. And when she died, everybody made shirts where she had an angel halo and said she's in heaven. I'm like, no, she isn't. I watched her every day, and there was no fruit evident of salvation. And I told her, I said, I'm not even near you, and I got my mask covering my mouth, and my nose is out because I can't put it up under my glass without glasses fogging, sliding. I'm not even anywhere near 6 feet of you. I'm way over here. You better put it on or I'm going to tear you up. I said, are you threatening me? I said, have you ever read about Fighting Irish Lady? No, I don't care about the Irish. I said, that's obvious. Well, you might want to do some brushing up on that. You lay a hand on me, you'll never do it again. Are you threatening me? I said, no, I'm making a promise. You assault or touch me, it'll be the last time you do it. She didn't respond because our culture is used to women have the upper hand. And I believe in equality. If a woman's going to assault me, I'm going to lay her out. Oh, that's wrong. No, it ain't. You came up and attacked me? You want equal rights? I'll give you equal rights. Welcome to my manhood. This culture is violent. This talk is violent. Why is America so full of this? We're the land of the free, the home of the brave, and we got an obsession with violent speech, violent video games, violent behavior. Most men are not well adjusted. They don't like somebody, man, I kick his ass, that's so bad. What does it say about the days of Noah? America's nowhere in the Bible either. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. These trolls, that's all they are. They're evil continually. These aren't well-adjusted people. And they all follow the same pattern. It puts the lotion on the skin. Stupid. And God looked on the earth and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way upon the earth. Then God said to Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me. For the earth is filled with violence because of them. And behold, I'm about to destroy them with the earth. Noah, there was no technology. And they had descended into violence. You know they trolled Noah. Hey, old fart, what are you doing? What are you building? It's an ark. Rain's coming. Rain. you know that they were harassing him until the day the rains came and the great springs of the deep burst forth. And they're running up and pounding on the side of this ark. Too late, boys. Too late. Same thing. They're running their mouth all over the internet. Pride goeth before a fall. And the day that God blows the trumpet and the church is out of here, these trolls are going to be plunged into darkness because now the world's not going to be safe. As much as we Christians are imperfect, the church is a preserving agent. Even though the world is changing and people are getting worse, the church is a preserving agent. And once it's gone, there's nothing to stop the unmitigated evil flow that's going to come. Our presence here, we are the salt of the earth. God cares about his children, he cares about his bride. Our presence here is keeping things at bay. Yes, it's getting worse. But you pull the church out of this world, there's nothing to check and stop the evil that will follow. People make fun of Christians, laugh at us. Christians who have read and understand this book have more education than any clown with a 4 or 6 or 8 or 10-year college degree. Read my pink lipstick lips. Anybody who knows this book and believes in the author of it is smarter than anybody with 3 degrees or 4 degrees. College will send you to hell. College will send you to intellectual hell. One, because it denies this very first thing in so-called science. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Name a science class in any college that starts with the truth of that. Oh, the earth is billions of years old. No, it isn't. God created Adam and Eve. The genealogy can be somewhat traced, plus or minus some errors, but it ain't no 10,000 millions of years old. It may be 6,000 to 10,000 at best. And kids trot off to college to have any truths that their parents and their church eroded and washed out of them. The devil's a liar. And he's in control of our education, he's in control of the communication system, and he's in control of the entertainment. Bible says, 2 Timothy 3, last days, perilous times shall come, men shall be lovers of pleasure, rather than lovers of God. Preacher asked the congregation yesterday, how many of you were rejoicing when Acuna or whatever on the Braves got 3 home runs? How many of you came into church today rejoicing? I like that he does the contrast. We'll yell and scream at a ball game. We come to church and we trudge into the church and we trudge through the hymn and we trudge through the... Who's your God? Who's your God? When I talk about these people, I don't know them, and I'm not being derisive and hateful. I'm just stating a fact. This is my channel in a symbol right here. That thing's not sinking. That thing's full steam ahead, taking bow wave after bow wave. You can see the black soot, coal smoke pouring out of the two funnels. I don't like cruise ships. I'd rather go on that. That was a ship. Today's cruise ships could not do that. Don't believe me? Check on YouTube. Talks about the difference between transatlantic liners and today's modern ships. People make a comment, well, but the ocean liners saying, ocean liners can take a lot more than any cruise ship can. Krakatoa went off in the 1800s. One of the biggest volcanic eruptions that people made notes and diaries and journals of. The captain of the freighter passenger combination ship, the Loudon, was smarter than most people realized. He sailed away from the land, and the people on the ship said, what are you doing? He said, we cannot get towards the shore. Whatever this volcano's done has unsettled the ocean. We need to put out to sea. He took a steamship and saw the wave coming and rode up it. It was over 100 feet tall. How do they know that? By what it hit on land. The Loudon, full steam, drove head on. The water smashed through the bridge windows, overwhelmed the ship, but she didn't sink. He told everybody to get down in the hold, lowering the center of gravity, putting all the people down below and shutting the hatches. The ship was a constant battle of falling ash with rain, turning to cement, and the weight of wet ash is horrible. The men were shoveling and trying to keep it off the decks. There's not a cruise ship out there that could take a 100-foot wave and do what the Loudon did. Older and simpler is better. I went through a dang thing this week. I went to O'Reilly just to look for this. They said they could get it by Wednesday. Left and right window control switch on an F-150. I said, how much is it? He said $166. I said, don't order it. Let me see if I can find OEM. He says, I understand. Man was very nice. Found one for $21. And Brianna taught me why the auto parts stores are raping us. I thought franchise had low prices. Guess not. I'm going to say something about America. They're not interested in saving you money. Our government doesn't do anything about these greedy corporations because the greedy corporations kick back money to the Democrats and the politicians to shut up about the dirty things they're doing. I wish I had the power and the influence to put O'Reilly, Napa, AutoZone all on blast for what they're doing to the American consumer. When you go through Rocky Auto or AA Premium and get them at a fraction of the cost, why are people screwing with our income? and our hard-earned money. Why? Why? This isn't worth $60, let alone 166. It's plastic. The fact that the right switch, the down button, wouldn't work. I had a 95 F-150 that was 27 years old. This truck is 27 years old now. Everything's failing in it. The blender motor went out. The windows go to change the dang whatever you call it. I'm looking for something else. They're making Dixie Cup trucks, folks. This is Dixie Cup trash. People want all these amenities where they don't have to do anything. Watch people when they drive. People are so lazy, they don't even want to push a brake pedal. I watch people here, they drive like toddlers all across America. You got solid double yellow line. Somebody in front of them puts their turn signal on a turn. They got to go and go in the oncoming lane to get around them. They're so impatient, they can't push the brake. I had trucks with hand crank windows and a button you had to push down. No key fobs. You had to remember to turn off your headlights, or you had a dead battery. You didn't have little bing, 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 bing things to remind you. Park brake went out in an old Dodge. I just slammed it in first. It wasn't going to go anywhere. Turn the wheels towards the curb and parking. Now you have an automatic. It won't start. You can't shift it into neutral and push it. Now they're making cars with shut-off switches in them and computer chips where they can track them. Run right out and buy those, everybody, and lose your freedom again. This is bull crap. Cheap-ass plastic part for $166. The backyard mechanics can't do what they used to do because the cars make it impossible to change things. I got down on my back on the driver's side, hurting myself with that hump in the middle, with tools, constantly changing the socket size to remove the body, to remove this, to remove that, to unscrew this, to get to this, to remove this, to get to this, to move this, to get to that, to remove a blender motor. Blendor, plastic crap. Everything is plastic crap. They make it to destroy. And they charge you more for that part than it cost the vehicle. And then the Democrats come up with this awesome idea of, let's go electric. Yeah, great idea. The batteries are $50,000. Stupid people do stupid things. I'd rather have a roll down manual. Yeah, I've gotten used to soft too. Give me the stick shift. Give me the old high beam indicator on the floor. Gosh, you got to change out your turn signal now. $1,000. Take the whole steering column and wheel apart. Dumb. You're not getting crap today. Oh, wait a minute. Excuse me, you are getting crap. Go buy a new car today. Go buy an SUV. Go buy a pickup. $80,000 for a chopped off pickup? Chopped. No bed. Yeah, you can get a piece of CDX and an 8-foot stud and a 5.5-foot bed, right? Yeah, out the tailgate. You see contractors running around with 4-door chopped pickups. And the truck's all dented and beat up, and they got everything crammed in this little box. Who was elected to be the design department of these gay cars and trucks today? And SUVs. What a waste of money. Blind spot, blind spot. How do you drive a blind spot? The back window's this wide, and it's all the way up here. You can't turn and look over your shoulder. Stupid. They look like a high-top shoe with laces. And the people that buy SUVs drive like toddlers. Commercials with baby background music for a grocery store. Baby music. I want to buy a Show and Hut piano. That's a little kid thing. Just got so many keys. Gling, gling, gling. Listen to the music on these damn commercials. The same. Why are they playing toddler music for adult-leveled commercials? Dumbing down is reality. Don't worry about what I'm wearing. I just do this because I like to just be weird. This stuff pisses me off. I'm a working man. $166 is more than a day's pay. That's ridiculous. That's not okay for a little plastic crap switch. Rapage has been made legal in the United States. Rapage and violating people has been made legal through the corporations of America. Why is this happening? Because the Bible said it was going to happen. Let me tell you why corporations are rude and jacked up. Let me give you the reason. Man, if I could find it. But realize this, in the last days, difficult times will come. Men will be lovers of self, lovers of money. Corporations are lovers of themselves. They're lovers of money. They don't care about you. That's a lie. Just because they stamp on the receipt, thank you for your business, doesn't mean anything. Call centers that you call. I worked at a call center. You are required to do scripted responses. I'm really sorry. That can be really frustrating. Let me get into your account and see if we can find a seamless solution. I'm required to say that. We're supposed to show an empathy speech. Churches hire greeters. Or not hire, but ask people to be greeters. Why are we asking people in church to be greeters? Because Americans are dumb, that's why. Dumb. We don't greet naturally because we're selfish. We're an inverted nipple. You can't look in a small church, see some new face, and get up out of your chair or your pew and say, hey, I'm Michael. Welcome. No, people can't do that anymore because they're retarded. Just like they can't push the brake pedal. Just like they're too lazy to roll down a crank window. I had 255 AC in my 72 Dodge and it worked. Roll down two windows, go 55. That Arizona hot blast furnace wind blowing on me was great. Now we're in the humid South. Welcome to what it feels like to be a dish rag all day long. But let's go to James. Let's talk about James. Corporate America, you better read this verse to your own selves. Corporate America, you better read this verse to yourselves. Come now, you rich, weep and howl for your miseries which are coming upon you. Your riches have rotted and your garments have become moth-eaten. Your gold and your silver have rusted, and their rust will be a witness against you and will consume your flesh like fire. It is in the last days that you have stored up your treasure. Do you notice how greedy the corporations have gotten in the last few years? We are close. We are close to the return of Jesus Christ for his church. And these corporations are getting greedier and greedier. They're charging more and more for their crappy products. Chevy, Ford, Dodge, they're all having problems. You buy that truck, recall. You buy that truck, this goes bad. Corruption, making goo gobs of money, and then convincing you that you have to have this product. We are at an age now where you can't just go buy a nice used truck that'll last you. They have junked. They have sent to the scrapyard. Now, if you want a 1970s or 60s Chevy in good shape, you're going to pay new vehicle prices for it. A 65 Chevy truck was somewhere between $2,500 and $2,700, brand new, 8-foot bed, single cab, no frills, no AC. A lot of them didn't even have an AM radio, let alone FM. Give me that truck for that price. I'd drive it till the wheels fall off. You can take this new stuff and shove it all the way up your corporate butt cheeks. You're ripping off people. You're gouging the prices. And then when they go to get parts, you charge 80 billion times more for the part than you did when you put it in. Robots are building these pieces of crap. Back when I was a kid, men and women worked on the assembly lines putting together the heartbeat of America. Chevy, Ford Tough, Dodge. And the corporations, because of their greed, in the name of preserving the environment, now we got to have airbags. Now we got to have side impact beams. A piece of thin metal in a door that doesn't stop the hood of another vehicle coming into your lap. We're being lied to. What do you need anti-lock brakes for? Because you can't drive. Back then, you used the Smith system. Get the big picture. Now you got girls and boys playing with their stupid phone while driving. I may be old and I may be made fun of it, but I know the way things used to be, and I don't like the way they're going. My mother drove a stick shift 72 Dodge with a big old camper on it. My aunt drove a 72 stick shift Dodge with a camper on it to run us kids around LA, pick us up at school. They weren't getting the tickets. They weren't driving aggressive. Women got lower insurance rates than boys. American muscle cars, boys were tearing around and squealing tires, and our rates went up because boys act like boys. The lion's share of fatalities caused by motorists is by 19 to 25-year-old women playing with their damn phone and running over people with their cars. That was on Fox News several years ago. My uncle told me about it. My insurance rates go up because of everybody's stupidity. I'm not the one hitting stuff. I don't even get a parking ticket. And the auto commercials encourage bad and reckless driving. Hitting puddles and splashing people while you got your suit and tie on and have this I don't give a F mentality. Our corporations are promoting rude behavior. That little piece right there trying to be fair in today's times. That's not worth more than $10. But if you want to roll your window down and an AC doesn't work, they'll get you paying $166. I was to the point, well, I can roll it down with the right door. I can roll it up with my driver door. I'll just deal with it. Because I plan on getting rid of that. I'm thinking about getting a car and getting my cost cut even more. But I need the truck because I'm not done with my house. And I don't like being low in a car because you can't see around stuff. You know, when I was in high school, you could buy a 60 Chevy truck for $1,500. Go out and find a $1,500 used pickup today. You're going to have a basket of problems. It probably doesn't run. The engine's not in it. The cab looks like somebody threw up all over it. People have gotten greedy. Here in Georgia on Marketplace, people have trucks sit in their yard under the Georgia heat and humidity and sun with the windows down. And the rednecks that own them throw all their trash in the cab. They take a picture with all the trash on the seat and the floor and oil filters and batteries and God knows what and mold all over the dash. And they want $8,000 for it. Good project truck. Yeah, it'll be a project just to get all the crap out of it. People are greedy today. You didn't do anything with it, and now you think you're going to get $8,000. I wouldn't give you 50 cents for it. You just want somebody to pay $8,000 to haul the trash out of your yard. You can go to South Carolina and get a better deal on a vehicle than you can in Augusta. The blacks and the whites are talking about it, and we're getting mad. Why are they ripping us off down here in South Augusta? We ain't rich. And by the way, the Democratic Party is not your friend. If you're a working class man, they're not your friend. They want to constantly raise our taxes. And before you think the Republicans are your friend, stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Anybody who gets a job in Washington, their conscience is seared with a hot iron. They see the money, they see the power, they're done. That's why as I get older, I want Jesus Christ to establish his rule and authority. Because he's the only one that can do it right. The police are not here to protect and serve. I don't know why they got that on the cop cars, but they ain't doing that. They might be part of the one world agenda too. Who knows? United Nations is not our friend. If I was president, if I had power, I'd go to the head of the UN and say, take that building, you either remove it or you put it up for sale, but you're not welcome in the United States anymore. We're a sovereign country. Get out! It's interesting that the UN has a Bible verse at the foot of their building. They shall beat their swords into plowshares. Well, guess what, UN? You're not going to make it happen. The Lord Jesus Christ is going to do it, not you. Corporate America is screwing the pooch. It's getting harder and harder financially for working class Americans to get ahead, and we need to shout and we need to roar at the Democrats and Republicans saying, we're tired of you talking about the middle class. We're tired of you talking about, well, we don't want to tax the rich because they produce us. Shut it, shut it, shut it, shut it. Start standing up for integrity and values and stop the BS. And Congress should not get $175,000 a year. That needs to stop. Cut their salary to no higher than $50,000. That's it. And because y'all voted for Obamacare, you will follow under Obamacare. You don't get to go to Mayo Clinic. You don't get the best health care in the land. You're a servant of us, and you need to feel what we feel. And if you don't feel what we feel, then you don't belong in that office. I'm tired of the liars and the cheaters. Kristi Noem, we respected her. She's out there getting her coochie dipped in again and again and having an affair and no conscience, doesn't care, wasting millions of dollars of taxpayer money to make commercials with her on a horsey. I'm tired of this stuff. People tell me that if I ran for office, they'd vote for me. I don't want to be in there. It's a snake pit. It's a snake mosh pit for snakes. You got women clawing at you to make you fall. It's sick. It's a den of iniquity. Capitol Hill is a den of iniquity. They worry more about the outside packaging, just like the Pharisees. If Jesus were to walk on the rotunda and say, "You hypocrites, you clean the outside of the cup, but inside it's full of moldy, toxic brew." Our politicians are liars and cheats. All of them. It's a clown person running for Georgia politics, another African American. We want to get more money to schools, and I want to stand against the Trump agenda. Oh, here we go. Let's bring in the blacks or the poor victims of society, and let's establish another man of color to keep beating the racist drum. Let's keep funding the schools that are sending blacks to prison, that are dumbing down our kids, that they're too busy unbuttoning their fly, trying to determine what sex they are instead of learning how to change a spare tire, push a lawnmower, rake the yard, and don't talk back to your parents. And then you go out there and get a job, and it's $166 for that piece of crap. Give me a hand crank window. Let's go back. I don't need a cruise ship with water tube slides and roller coasters. Give me an ocean liner where you had beautiful public rooms, where there were chairs and settees, and where you could sit and face and interact with human frickin' beings. Cruise ships are just nothing but Narcissistville. Why do you go on a cruise ship to go to the gym? Stupid. Lawrence Beasley was a young single man on the Titanic. And he struck up a conversation with another woman. They'd lean over the rail, look out to sea, and talk about things. I'd love to go back to that time. Now you can go on a cruise ship, and if somebody's door's open and they got a pineapple in there, it means you can come on in and take your pants off and do God knows what in there. Yep, true story. You got teens running crazy on a cruise ship, banging on doors, acting bad. Carnival's been getting a reputation for ghetto behavior. Why the hell would I want to go on a cruise? The Titanic, the Queen Mary, they didn't have AC. Give me the cold North Atlantic with a steamship, with public rooms, with woodwork and detail. And to be able to go down to the engine room and see these big working engines. I'm a hopeless romantic, born in the wrong time. But because of my heart, God made me for such a time as this. God is called the Ancient of Days, and for all you women and men that want new, you're being lied to. You're being ripped off. God's called the Ancient of Days because he doesn't change. Remember when the phone used to be used to make a call? You can check your pulse, check your meter, check the stock market, but you can't check yourself. Communication spends more money now than ever before, and we're communicating less face to face with real people. What part of DUMB do you not understand? How come? The only way I can find connection is through an electronic device to people I'll never meet face to face through the internet. How come I can't reach 13,000 people right here in Augusta? Because you can't. Meanwhile, you got everybody parading their good ship lollipop all over the internet. That's my ship of choice. That picture is so freaking awesome. That's the 1940s. Bigger, taller, wider, faster, heavier than the Titanic. That is a skyscraper on its side right there. I would rather go back in time and ride on that than any cruise ship today. When I drove a school bus, I used to sit down and try to write stories. There wasn't internet. I'd write letters to relatives that are now gone. They loved getting my letters from a school bus seat. At a basketball game in Wisconsin, I'd talk about how heavy the snow was coming down. How when it was 30 below, I had to keep the bus running because it's diesel. I remember hauling basketball teams from Superior Senior High. The girls were rude as all get out. Denfeld, the girls' basketball team, rude. And I wasn't aware like I am now. Like, man, I'm nice to these people. I give them a smooth ride. Why are people so rude? Then it dawned on me half of them were probably lesbian. Girls aren't checked in our society. Men are. We're constantly checked. None of those girls had a clue when I'm driving through rough weather. With all of them with their giggling and dumb conversations. And the snow's so bad I can't see 10 feet in front of me, and I've got a short-handled snow shovel tucked between my seat and the privacy shield in case I have to use it to get unstuck. I'm on Highway 2 and Highway 53 in Wisconsin, and there's nobody else out there at night. And the two-way radio ain't going to do me any good. And I don't have a cell phone. You break down out there, you better hope there's a house I can walk to. And there's stretches where there aren't. In fact, I had to stop the school bus at a tavern out in the middle of the woods so the kids could go to the dang bathroom. And the coach would say, I really hate to stop at a bar, but I have no choice. And the bar owner would let the teen girls come in and use the toilet. What did we do without cell phones? We survived. My boss ran a good fleet. I never had a breakdown. Even the diesel buses that I drove, they were solid as an ox. This new stuff they're making, even the school buses with their DEF fluid and all the computers in them. Malfunction junction. What's your frickin' function? And the environmentalists have done that. They want to save the environment. That's why automobiles are costing a fortune. But nobody sent a memo to the environmentalists and told them this. This crap right here, when that burns, it releases toxic smoke. The environmentalists are going about it wrong. Electric cars is not the answer. Stop making plastic. That pollutes. It gets into the oceans. It breaks down into nurdles, which kills fish. You reheating out of your little Glad Wrap, little plastic bucket in the microwave is releasing crap into your food. Use a porcelain bowl when you reheat stuff. I do that. I'll take it out of the Glad thing, put it in the porcelain bowl, and cook it. And who knows, we might be killing ourselves drinking out of plastic bottles. You want to save the environment? Stop making things so damn expensive that constantly break. That demands more production and more crappy parts. I'd rather buy a truck that'll last 40 years and pay a little bit more than for a hoopty with bells and whistles and seats that tickle your nuts. I swear that'll be next. The all-new Ball Tickler Edition Silverado. I mean, do you really need it? Can you just drive a truck? Shoot, remember in the old days, guys would have a 1948 Power Wagon and live in a cabin. On a cold winter day, you can hear that Power Wagon fire up. It wasn't a comfortable ride. No AC. You couldn't fit 3 people in the front seat because you had your transfer case and your stick shift. Women today, they don't want to be in that. They want something they can slide in their pajamas and their hair in a bonnet and BO and hairy armpits and just drive. I'd rather be the neighbor, the guy with the 1948 Power Wagon. Come on, Michael. This was a bad storm. We're going to the store. Let's go. Boom, 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 and tear through everything. I'm old enough to know we're being raped, ripped off, abused, and taken advantage of by corporate America and our government. Let's raise the taxes so we can build more stuff to blow up in the Middle East. I'm disappointed in Trump. That was a fool's sport to tangle up with Iran. Trump's ego is getting in the way of rational thought. I will never vote Democrat. They're just satanic evil, period. But we got to be honest about the Republicans. They're the reason the Democratic Party's been so successful. You know, a lot of Republican conservative men with their pickup trucks like to talk tough, but your party don't do anything. You know, people look at me and what I wear. I'm more vocal than anybody on Capitol Hill. Cruz was one of the good ones when I used to hear him speak. They need somebody like me. They need a male version of AOC with women's clothes. I'll stand up to AOC and all them clowns. So tired of getting somebody who dresses professionally, carries the right swag. That's why Obama got in. He was so photogenic. Yeah, he ruined healthcare. And Trump hasn't touched it. Nothing's changed. Trump made a lot of promises. Not one of them has been brought to fruition. Just what I'm seeing. He's tried to make a dent in illegals. But how come we're not deporting all these people? Why? You know what's awesome about being Michael Nelson? I get everybody pissed. The MAGA cult, the Democrats, the atheists, even silly Christians. Ones who want to quote Deuteronomy 22:5, second half of verse. Those same will not go to any woman on their channel and say, why are you dressing, talking, acting like a man, wearing blue jeans, bald cap? Men like women being manly. Why? Because more men are having problem with homosexual desires, and that's how they get around it. I'll hang out with a butch acting woman because I get the best of both worlds. Yep, I said it. And everybody got all caught up in that Sydney Sweeney. I'm like, what is the deal with this? Can I just say something? I know there's something wrong with me. Sydney Sweeney doesn't move me. Give me a flat-chested black woman, a flat-chested Asian woman, an Indian woman, or a white woman. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, Mike, you just admitted you like girls who look like boys. No, I don't. I've been with small breasted women. They rock me more powerful than any woman with the big kahunas. Fact. And when they're 50 and when they're 60, things stand at attention. I love it. God bless small chested women. You outpace the Catherine Bachs, the Pamela Sue Andersons, the Cindy Crawfords any day. Because when you're 50 and you take off your shirt, they'll still poke my eyes out. Simpler is better. Less is better. If I could live in a 25-foot travel trailer and cut my expenses down to near zero, I would do it. But living in a cramped place and not having a way to keep clean and comfortably cook your food doesn't appeal to me. We fail to realize as a people that when we vote in a politician, we're voting them to get a massive raise. We're voting them to have access to a piggy bank that we'll never have. So every time you vote in somebody from here, you just gave them what you want and you'll never get: a raise, a bigger bank account. And when you unpack what you're doing when you go to the polls, if I was president, my first agenda would be term limits now. Congress, the Senate will not vote themselves a raise. That will not be decided by them ever again. That will be voted on state by state, and it will be a report card of how that state thinks their leader is doing. And they can also vote for a downgrade. You're at 100,000, you're going to go down to 50. Performance raises, just like I have to have at work. Why is it a thing? And they exempted themselves from it. That'd be another thing. Lawmakers, you vote in something, you will be expected to put yourself under it like the American people. So you better rewrite the crap you're writing. It's my understanding that if you get into the office of politician once, you're set for life. If I'm at a job for 4 years and I either quit or get fired, I have to find another job to make income. Secret Service protection. Why do we have it after a guy's out of office? Why are we paying for that? You're not in office anymore. Face the music like I and everybody else has to. I'm an American. Where's my Secret Service protection for being vocal? Oh, we don't provide that in the United States for citizens. It's exhausting when I talk because I got a lot of pent-up emotion about this. My point in all of this is we're not going to change a thing. We are the toilet bowl flush. We are circling the drain. We as Christians need to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. We need to stop powder coating, sugar coating. Christians need to stop being afraid of witnessing and hiding their faith under a bushel. That needs to stop. Sometimes I wonder how much good does it do for me to rant. Delta Airlines has started its day. It's flying over the house. I kept taking United Airlines back and forth to Hong Kong, and I noticed something. America used to be great. My cousin Jana had applied for, I believe, United to get on as stewardess, and she was very snubbed. Jana thought she was pretty, and she was. Jana had a problem with being a little too stuck up and narcissistic. I'm sure nothing's changed. And she didn't get hired. And when I flew United to Hong Kong, guess what? These women that got on years ago are older. You can see all the crease lines in the crow's feet. You can see their etched in granite rest me biatch faces. They're not pretty. Their faces don't exude warmth. They look like they want to hit you in the face. I study people. And they come down the aisle with this crusty, canned, "You want soda or water?" "I'll take a water, please." They're not happy. They're burnt out. You can tell they just want to retire. United Airlines, the airlines used to be top notch. But it's sad. I got on Japan Airlines. They hire the young Japanese ladies that are beautiful. And you can't just go to your job. You got to be analyzed every time I go to the bank. Every time I go to the Walmart pharmacy. Please tell us and rate your experience. Why do I got to do this every time I go to the store? The lady was nice. If I have a complaint, I'll call. Now the waitresses are doing it. And on the bottom of your receipt, sir, if you'd be so kind as to give me a review, I'd appreciate it. Your review was done by my tip, ma'am. Have a nice day. The devil wants us he wants our hands and our face on a computer screen all day. I have to fill out a survey of work every week. Comes out Friday. The president, my supervisor, send me back. I appreciate your hard work. You work very hard. My supervisor wrote a message. I didn't see it until the other day. He said, "You were killing it, man. The amount of work you get done is awesome." And I appreciate that. But that's what society's doing. Give people a compliment. It makes them feel validated. Give us a raise. That validates. My groceries, my gas. Keeps going up. I appreciate you telling me how good of a job I do, but I also know how much money you guys are clearing. And Americans talk is cheap. We're taught at the call center to give the empathy speech. I had a woman call in from New York at that call center. She has a New York accent and everything. We're required to say certain things. Michael, stop answering me like that. I can't even duplicate a New York accent, so forget that. I'm sorry, ma'am. I know you're frustrated. Let me see what I can do. And she kept getting mad. I finally said, ma'am, there are things I'm required to say. That's how they analyze us on the calls. I'm trying to help you with the issue. And she was getting mad. I'm tired of the canned speech. I'm tired of them doing that every time. Fix my effing problem. I understood her frustration. Don't you feel like saying the same thing? Call Communist Cast to hook up service. Boy, you get right through there. Call Communist Cast when you have a problem. We're sorry, we have an unusually high call volume today. Wouldn't you like to ride in my beautiful balloon? An hour later on, this song is playing on its 99 loop. Customer service. Okay, you want customer service, but maybe we have things. Customer service. Well, you can get a customer service. Have you tried the online customer service? Have you? Shut it, biatch! Customer service. Corporate America's pissing me off. I don't know about you. I don't got time to be on hold. You make a mistake on your mortgage, penalties. But if the bank makes a mistake on your checking account, we're really sorry. Well, then give me a kickback, clowns. Dumb, dumb, dumb. You think corporate America's your friend? You've been drinking way too much cyanide-laced Kool-Aid, buddy. I hate rap music, but I had to do a rap. Donald Trump is not your friend. Joe Biden is not your friend. Barack Obama is not your friend. Corporate America is not your friend. They got their hands in the cookie jar and in your purse and in your wallet and up your butt cheeks too. Corporate America is not your friend. O'Reilly's Auto Parts is not your friend. AutoZone, get out of the zone because it ain't your friend. We're being lied to every day. Getting screwed up the butt cheeks in every way. Buy this, spend that. We care about you. Customer satisfaction guaranteed. Oh, baby, that is a lie. We ought to do a rap addressing our disgusted, sick American culture. You think Donald Trump would come in his house and sit down and talk to me? That guy would look down his nose at me right now. I know this. I know this. Barack Obama wouldn't sit in here and talk to me. Michelle Obama wouldn't. None of these people that we put on a platform cares. All they care about is their bottom line. That's it. And we make goddesses and gods out of these clowns on sports. You think James LeBron or LeBron James will come in here and have a rational discussion with me? Tiger Woods? None of them would. People are sheep, sheeple. Everybody gets into sports, but all the people in sports don't get into you. You're yelling and screaming about your favorite guy. He doesn't even know you exist and he doesn't care. Then you got Rapinoe. Looks like her hair was molded out. Stepping on the flag. It's sick. Brittany Griner gets released by Biden out of prison. They're in Russia. If you or I had done that, Biden wouldn't have even cared. It was political. He was grandstanding towards an ethnic group. America is not sincere anymore. Corporations don't care about you. People talk about Hobby Lobby. They talk about Chick-fil-A. Oh, they're run by Christians. Yeah, and they're screwing the pooch. I get so tired. Back in the 80s when they had that trend in the phone book. Remember the phone book? The yellow pages started showing up with fish symbols on them. And everybody's like, oh, it's a Christian business. Oh, the fish symbol is a way to screw people out of their money some more. I got news for you. Christians are just as greedy as the world. In fact, materialism is a huge problem in the evangelical church. Don't believe me? Look at the people who go to David Jeremiah's church or Chuck Swindoll or any of the big shots out there. None of them are working in a warehouse like me. Those are upper end, high income earners in gated neighborhoods. Those are designer preachers. David Jeremiah telling people to put their faith in God. When a woman wrote in complaining about the cost of living and what is she supposed to do? You think Dave's going to say, I got $50 million, let me help you out? Hell no. And we sit under these preachers, we eat at their feet, we praise them, we say how good they are. I know the Bible just as much as any of them. I'm not making $50 million, and I'm not a pastor, and I never would be. It's amazing. The dichotomy of our culture. We're just lied to. How come when you look at Jeremiah, MacArthur, all those preachers, it's all white people in there. No blacks, no Hispanics. Maybe a couple rich Asian women in there. And you start looking at these preachers, they're only attracting certain income earners. That's funny. This book tells me something fascinating. And boy, people get mad at me when I address this money issue of these preachers. Well, Mike, they're blessed by God. Oh, so me going to work every day, I don't have a right to make $50 million, but because you're in the ministry, you do. Show me one apostle that made $1 million a year. $1 million. Show me one apostle that made $100,000 a year. Show me one apostle that made $20,000 a year. Show me. It ain't there. $50 million, David Jeremiah. John MacArthur, millionaire. Chuck Swindoll, millionaire. Billy Graham, millionaire. Go therefore make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Is my message for a certain classification of money earners? It's not supposed to be. And people wonder why I'm weird. People wonder why I dress. Because I don't drink. I don't smoke. Every day, people that are rich in my company, what are you going to do this weekend? You got any plans? No, I'm not going on any cruises. I'm not taking a drive to Savannah to spend $800 for a nice dinner. Nope, I'm going to go home. And I don't even tell them. I'm going to get on YouTube with my YouTube community, do a jigsaw puzzle, mow my lawn, work on the bathroom. I don't tell them all that. There's such a disconnect in our society. It's not funny. I get excited wearing feminine clothes and feeling erotic because, life is just drained of any substance anymore. And there's a price to pay for being real. It's sad that whoever the guy that ran the channel for Alaskan Bush people was driven by the negative, derogatory, toilet bowl slime troll community to kill himself, and they're still getting off on that. It's too bad we can't find all of them and dox the hell out of them. It's funny how they can do that to us, and they can hide like a rattlesnake deep underneath something, and you don't see them until you move it and get bit. It's not a fair world, is it? The devil has the ace in the hole. But the day's going to come when that dragon's going to be chained up forever and thrown in the lake of fire. Meanwhile, we got work to do, troops. You're going to get bloodied and bruised. You're going to get all kinds of problems, but the truth is worth it. People so hateful of Christians because they want to pretend they're a girl and attract a bunch of gay men. And they hate people for telling the truth about their lifestyle so much that they want to see them assassinated and killed. I said it yesterday, the transgender community is something to keep an eye on. They're promoting a lot of dangerous behavior. They're lowering the life expectancy rate of anybody who disagrees with them. Remember when the Democrats said that Trump supporters are dangerous? No, Democrats, the spawn you breed is dangerous. The spawn you breed is killing their own ethnicity. The spawn you breed is killing children in droves. 61 million dead children in the name of abortion. The Democratic Party is promoting a group of radical ideologies of the transgender community, and they're shooting up our schools. Democrats, you promote the education system, but you promote the transgender, and the transgenders are shooting children. Hello? Conflict of interest? How may I direct your freaking hypocritical call? Hello? The Democratic Party is the throne of Satan in America. Absolutely. Twisted people. Twisted. Don't worry about a shirt that I wear or some lipstick. I'm just unusual. I'm not the one setting policy and destroying the country and destroying people and screwing them out of their income. Those are the suits and ties that are doing that. The college degree professionals are the ones doing that. Let that soak in. The dress for success crowd is the problem, not me. Millions and billions thrown at campaigning, wasted money just to get somebody to win a seat. Why? What a waste. So much for helping out poverty victims. So much for helping out battered women's shelters and people who have felt needs. Let's blow money out of our butt cheeks to get somebody a job where they can earn even more money and waste it all. America's justice system is corrupt. The Democrats and the Republicans are corrupt. The swamp is deep, it is wide, and it stank. And Trump isn't draining the swamp. Not one arrest has been made by the swamp rats or the swamp rats that belong in there. We're being lied to again and again and again and again and again. And I don't care what Donald Trump thinks of me. I voted for him because he was better than Kamala. But Donald Trump don't care about me, don't care about you. That is the facts. And that goes for the leftists too. You want to be cared about? You want to be valued? Run to God. And I struggle with even that because of the brokenness of what I've grown up in. I have a hard time believing God would truly love me. My question is why? We don't deserve it. We've cussed at him, we've yelled at him, we sinned against him. Why would he love me? That's the rub. Doesn't make any sense, does it? And we look for love in people. and we're stupid, as if people can love us better than God. People are fickle. People are selfish. People have an agenda. That woman you meet that you think is so cute and sweet, she may despise you, but knows that she got a cash cow to cash in when she's through with you. That man you think is so nice, he could send you to a battered woman's shelter. And we believe in people more than God. We believe in our employer more than God's provision. Gotta go. It's been real. It's been fun. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the likes. God bless.